My name's Deborah. I'm the Director of Channel Partnerships with Wellness Living, and really excited to have you guys all here for today's Coach to Growth session. And we are getting ready because the next hour could completely change the way you run your business. Our expert speaker today doesn't just talk about gym ownership, but he's living it. Tim Lyons is the founder and CEO of Pulse Fitness, a high performance training facility that's been thriving since 2008. But what really sets Tim apart is now how he's turned his own lessons, the hard ones and the breakthrough ones, into repeatable systems that now help thousands of fitness business owners across the country. Tim is the visionary behind ProFit Marketing Solutions, where his services have helped these gym owners go from stressed and scattered to structured, scalable, and seriously profitable. He's the best-selling author of Built to Grow, The Gym Owner's Guide to Success and Scalability, and he's the voice behind the Built to Grow podcast, where he drops weekly wisdom for anyone ready to level up as a business owner. Tim's mission is simple: help you build a business that gives you more freedom, more income, and more impact. So we're about to grab your attention. You guys grab your pens and help me welcome a true industry leader. Welcome, Tim.
Deborah, thank you. I'm excited, guys. I got a ton of stuff to share. I love seeing all these people from coming in from everywhere. I saw one of these, yeah, Breaking Barbells Gym. Mandy, what a name. Breaking Barbells. Love it, guys. So
Nice.
today we've got a ton of stuff to talk about, and I just want to dive right in if that's okay. All right. So trainer to CEO. So look, guys, if you've run a gym for any amount of time, we've all been in this situation. You're opening up the gym at 4:45, you're kicking the lights on, it's still dark outside, you're training sessions all day, you're eating lunch from a Tupperware bowl, you're trying to close deals, you're mopping the floors, you're running around just doing a bunch of stuff. And you lock up the gym 9 p.m., just enough time to go home, scarf dinner with your family, go to bed, and start all over again. And you're burnt out and you're still broke. Unfortunately, like this is the common way of the trainer turn studio owner. In the next, I don't know how many, 27 minutes or so, I'm going to show you guys the exact shift that helped me run my gym, which is not Pulse Fitness anymore. It's Legacy Personal Training.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Tim.
It's okay. That's an old bio, but in about an hour a week as the CEO. So here's the scoop, guys. What's the difference between what seems to be two ends of the spectrum? You've got the trainer owner that runs a gym, scrambling every session, that's running themselves ragged, versus, say, the CEO that seems to have everything together. They're running their business smoothly and profitably. And why can some gym owners seem to have it all together while others can never seem to get ahead? There's a tons of reasons for that, guys, and we're going to go over a lot of them, but there's definitely some similarities in each one of these camps. But before I dive too deep into that, let me just explain who I am a little bit more and why do I have the right to speak to you guys today. Right? This is an honor to be here and speak to you guys. First and foremost, like Deborah said, I'm a gym owner just like you. For 16 years, I've run this gym, Legacy Personal Training in Scottsdale, Arizona, one of the toughest markets in the United States. I've generated millions and millions of dollars from personal training revenue. And for the past decade, guys, I've run the entire gym from this office right here. You can't see behind me, but I've got this huge bourbon shelf behind me. I'm a bourbon connoisseur, and I just run the operations from right in this seat right here. Okay, I've written a couple of books, Built to Grow, Built to Win, and Built to Deliver. I've co-authored that one with my fitness director, and we've coached thousands of gym owners through to financial freedom through our two biggest programs, our Iron Circle Mastermind and our Springboard program. And really, the point of the message here for these two programs is to help gym owners win, but through time freedom and scalability, right? Like the whole reason you started the gym is to hopefully provide a great lifestyle for yourself and your family. And everything that we do in the gym, we share on the Build to Grow podcast. We're twice a week. We're 675 episodes in now. And what we do on the show is just share everything. I just give away everything I can to help everybody win. But feel free to join, like listen into that when you guys have some free time. And one of the last things that we do is our events. Okay, we're hosting a Grow Summit, and Wellness Living is our platinum sponsor this year. So we're so excited to have Wellness Living be a sponsor of that, and so honored, like I said, honored to be here with you. And hopefully today you guys will be able to take a couple of shifts away, so you can take your trainer to being the rundown trainer to the commanding CEO of your business. Okay, so let's talk about the three takeaways we're going to deliver to you today. Okay, we're going to talk about the identity shift roadmap, three upgrades that can move you from overwhelmed coach to empowered CEO. And I tell you, like, this is the exact shifts that I made and we coach our clients on that just help you like better align your vision with your gym. And so like you can get out of that kind of, I don't know, that run ragged, do everything trainer mindset. Second thing we're going to do is the CEO mindset of delegation. Why the CEO's job is to create opportunities and leaders and not do everything in the gym. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why you think you have to do that and what to do about it. Okay. And then the 10-minute CEO dashboard, like I said, I run my entire $1 million business from this office. 10 minutes a week might be stretching it, but that's the dashboard I look at literally 10 minutes a day, and then I probably run it in about an hour a week. Okay. So let's do this. Quick poll before we get too deep in the weeds. Answer yes or no in the chat, and I can see the chat's up right now. So if somebody is a world-class CEO, are they automatically a world-class trainer? So if somebody owns a gym, does that mean they're automatically a great trainer? Okay, yes or no in the chat. Knows,
We
knows,
got some
knows.
unanimous no's.
Unanimous knows. Right. The skills don't flow down, right? They don't flow down just because you're a great owner and operator doesn't mean you're a great trainer. So here's the kicker. Oh, hell no, Allie. Right. So why do we assume that because you're a world-class trainer, coach, class instructor, that you're automatically a rock star CEO? Shouldn't it work both ways? Right? And so that's like the path of the trainer. The standard path becomes, you're a trainer, coach, class instructor, in a facility. You're probably working for somebody else when you first start. And then you become really good. You start building up your clientele and you got a nice following, and everybody's kind of looking to you as the kind of the lead trainer. Maybe you get recognized, become a manager. You're doing sales, you're kind of managing the team. And by the way, going from trainer to manager, that skill set's completely different too, isn't it? If you've ever had a great trainer now become a manager of you or like your organizations, you'll see the skill set gap is gigantic, right? And then maybe because you've created such a great following with your clientele, you got some rich clients. They say, "Hey, Trainer Joe, I think you would be a great gym owner. Open your own gym." And in fact, this is almost the most common path to gym ownership is trainer to maybe manager, maybe not, and then hey, go. It's time to open a gym. But we just all agreed that just because you're a great owner doesn't make you a great trainer. The opposite is the absolute truth too, right? Like just because you're a great coach doesn't mean you can be a great owner. There couldn't be a more case in point than this guy right here. Okay. Michael Jordan. If you grew up in the 90s like me, this guy was the it, right? You wore the shoes, be like Mike. You're always trying to dunk, do the thing. The tongue was out all the time. We would probably, agree that maybe you don't believe he's the top player of all time, but let's say top two or maybe in top three. So, bottom line is Jordan's a great player. Well, a lot of people don't know he stepped into ownership at one point. Okay. He was in his first season as the majority owner of the Charlotte Bobcats, they ended up finishing 23rd out of 30 teams. The best player in the world is now the 23rd best owner operator. Okay, well, Tim, that was his first year. What about his second year? He probably learned his lesson, right? Second year, dead last, 30th out of 30th, worst in the NBA. Couldn't be a worse team than the team that the best player in the world's owning. Okay, so the skill sets between a coach and an owner are completely, we just said, opposite from each other. The technician, the coach brain, you're coaching reps, cues, client PRs, fixing form. That's the technician brain. The CEO brain, the owner brain. We're talking cash, capacity, culture, different scoreboard, different skills. And the unfortunate thing about the trainer brain, like I like to call it, is the trainer brain who becomes an owner believes that more education in the act of training, maybe it's a new certification, kettlebell certification, active aging, hell, TRX, whatever it is, you believe that with that new certification becomes you're going to make more money in the gym. And I don't know about you guys. I've run thousands of consultations in my day. I can remember maybe two, maybe three that the clients coming in really wanted to look at the certifications of the coaching staff. Okay. They don't care. They believe that if you own a gym and you've got a great team right there, you've been there for a while, like that's kind of like goes with the territory, right? Everybody's certified professional trainers, right? So why do trainer brains believe that, hey, you know what? I just need another certification and then everything will change. Well, I'll tell you the reason why is because, and you could say agree or disagree. Trainers are theoretical, number one, meaning they like to learn things, but two, they never want to be put in a position where they don't know the answer to. They're working with a client and I don't know how to fix your problem. Agree or disagree. It's okay either way, but that's what I believe is why they're so different between what a trainer brain is and a CEO brain is. So now let's figure out where you sit. Okay. We've got a little 1 to 5. You're going to score yourself in two columns. Number one column is the technician column. The number two column is the CEO column. Okay. So there's going to be, we're just going to do this for 1 minute. Okay. So rank yourself a 5 if you're world class. You don't need any help there. You're just great at this particular thing. Or a 1 if you don't do it at all, or somewhere in between. Okay. So technician column, you deliver great sessions, 1 to 5. Okay, just that first one on the left, 1 to 5. Put a score on a piece of paper, score yourself. Now move over to the CEO column. You design a scalable client experience, 1 to 5 there. How do you feel like you rank here? Okay, we're gonna total these up at the end. Okay, so you don't need to put it in the chat. Okay, let's keep moving because we got a ton of stuff to cover. So, uh, you believe you write perfect programs. Okay, do you believe that you're like world class at this, 4 or 5, or you need a ton of help, a 1? Okay. What about that CEO column? You create profitable product suites. Okay. You productize, you know how to price them out for capacity, scalability, deliverables, 1 to 5. All right. You track clients' progress daily. You feel pretty good that you do that pretty well as a technician, or do you feel great about tracking your P&L against budgets? Okay. Left column first, right column second. So at this point, you should have 6 cores. Okay. And just we're going to total them up in the columns. Last two. You are able to fix form on the fly. You see knee valgus, you know how to spread the toes out. You know if somebody's rounding their back, you know what cues to say to the client to straighten the back out. Or the CEO column, you're got cash flow bottlenecks, and you know how to fix those immediately. 1 to 5. All right, let's move on. Last one. You feel great about progressing and regressing your clients' movements. Okay, somebody's having struggles, you can regress them, or if they're an athlete, you know how to progress. Or you feel really good that you can develop and delegate as a leader. Okay, so let's do this in the chat. Kelly's going to town with the scores over here. Here's what I want you to do really quickly. Technician scores. Total up all 5 of those scores on the left-hand side and just post in there. It's between a 5 and a 25. Give me your scores. Total up the scores between a 5 and a 25. What was your technician score? 20. Good, Jeremy. 20, 19, 21, 25. Perfect. Okay. 23, 25. 25 is perfect, right? You're a technician boss. Okay, now let's do the other thing. Let's do the CEO column. And let's be honest here. Give me your CEO scores. 10, 9, 17,
Oh,
11,
27.
below average, below average. Okay, we got some 0.5s here. Cool. 10. Okay, exactly what I felt was going to happen. Everybody feels really good about their technical skills in the skill set. The CEO skill set, a little bit less or a lot less. I've seen a lot of 25s when we did the technician, and we're down in the 10s, 11s here. Okay, here's what I want you to do. If you have a 1 on the right-hand side and a 5 on the left-hand side of any one of those, circle those. You're going to circle the pair with the biggest spread, and that's going to be your number one lever for growth over the next 90 days to work on. So if you feel good that you write perfect programs, but you're creating a profitable product suite that's really poor, fix that. That's a bottleneck in your business. Okay. And yeah, there's something to be said about each one of these, But if you're just your skill sets are so opposite, and I'm assuming everybody here is an owner operator type. I didn't really ask that, but that's what I'm assuming. If you're on this, you're probably hoping to be a better CEO. That's where we want you to focus. Okay. So let's do this. Let's get into the identity shift roadmap. So over everybody's career, there's typically a book, a story, a podcast that you guys watch, listen to that changed your mindset. For me, it was this guy, Robert Kiyosaki. He's very famous for one book he wrote early on. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you've read it, say read it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad wasn't the book that really changed it for me. Cash Flow Quadrant was. Okay. And in the cash flow quadrant, he created this quadrant of how this is the relationship with how people earn money in their lives. Okay. It looks like this. So in the top left-hand corner, you've got the letter E. You're an employee. So you clock in, you clock out. Maybe it's a salary, maybe it's hourly, maybe it's project work. But the bottom line is this. You do a job, you get paid for it. You don't own the business, you work for somebody else. However, there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. There's nothing wrong with being any one of these four columns. I'm just saying this is the relationship with how you earn income. Okay. My mom was a school teacher for 40 years. You better believe I grew up in a household that was breeding employees. My mom's mission was go become an amazing student, go to amazing college, maybe get a scholarship, and go get a great job. Okay. Um, it's obviously not what happened, right? I'm not an employee. I can't be an employee at this point, if I'm being honest. But like that's what the people live their whole lives in this quadrant, never get out, perfectly happy, amazing lives. Again, nothing wrong with it. It's just how you earn money. You trade time for money. In the bottom left-hand corner, this is where gym ownership starts. You're self-employed. You open up a business, and in fact, you don't really own a business, you own a job at this point. You do everything. And really the difference between here and the next one is how does that business operate with or without you? Okay? If you do the sales and the training and the program design and mop the floors and do the marketing and make the phone calls, all that stuff, you are 100% self-employed. Again, nothing wrong with being there, but just need to understand this is reality. You own your job, okay? And you probably have the worst boss in the world, yourself. Third one is business owner. Business owner has created a system of operations that run the business for you, okay? Whether, irrespective if you're there or not, the business is going to run, churn a profit, and pay you out of the business. The biggest test between if you're self-employed and if you're a business owner is to what we call the pressure test. If you were to leave your business for 4 weeks, go on vacation with your family, turn off your phone, don't check emails, what would happen to your business? If it's going to explode and catch fire and burn down, but by the time you get back, you're most likely an S. And that's fine. Again, some people live their whole lives as S's. Some people's goals in life is to move to B. And the bottom right-hand one is investor. Investor is you've made money and that money's making money. Obviously, stock market, crypto, passive income, dividend paying stocks, whatever it is, money's making money. And when we work with gym owners, most often they find themselves in the S quadrant. But the goal, and has always been the goal, is to get to the B quadrant. Okay. And again, the pressure test is that 4 week vacation. Can you do it? Can you not? Most people would say no. You don't need to answer here, but that's what we work with our clients to do. Now, the problem is as you move the quadrants, you need to develop new skills. And this next slide's probably going to ruffle everybody's feathers. What do you mean? But this next slide is the truth. I'm going to read it out loud. If you ever want to become a true business owner, you need to let the little trainer inside of you die. Whoa, hold on. I love training, Tim. I love it. Cool. You're just never going to be able to move yourself out of that independent, like self-employed role to business owner if you're the one doing the sessions. You can love it. And in fact, I think if you don't love it, it's probably a little bit of a problem. But here's the kicker, guys. If you are never going to give up the training of the clients, the delivery of the service, you will never become a true business owner that runs without you. It's like a fact. Okay? Now, I will tell you this. Tim, I got into this business because I love helping people. That's probably the main reason why you guys, you open up a gym to begin with, or a studio. Okay. Well, if you ever want to run it as a business, then you need to hire a CEO over the top of you. And we've done this for a few gym owners that did not want to leave the training floor, and that's totally cool. But this is just the truth. Okay. I'm just here to spit the truth. If you ever want to move out of that role, you're going to have to make some changes. So, in order to make changes, we have to upgrade our mindset. Typically, the reason people don't change is because their mindset won't allow them to change. You're stuck in a way, and that's okay, but we need to just put a magnifying glass on it and we got to upgrade. Okay. So, line worker to factory designer. Okay. So, these are two different worlds, again, like a trainer and a CEO. Most gym owners I know, they're type A personalities. When we open our studios, we do everything, right? The programs, everything has to go through you. Okay. Everybody knows Henry Ford. He didn't get rich building cars. He got rich building the factory that produced the cars. Your studio needs to produce results through a factory that runs whether or not you personally on the floor or not. Okay. That's mindset upgrade number one. Number two, firefighter to fire marshal. This analogy could be closer to the truth. Firefighters put out fires every day. If I were to ask a gym owner, typically that we work with, or probably you on this call, like, what are you doing today? Well, I'm putting fires out. Literally, that's the words that you say. Oh man, I'm out here putting fires out. And then you put the fire out, and then another one pops up and you go solve that problem. And while there's always going to be some of that, you don't want to spend your day sprinting towards the next fire. When the real freedom comes is when you're a fire marshal. Fire marshals prevent the fires from ever happening. They're the person that prevents 90% of the fires. Like I said, you're going to have things that pop up. They're the ones looking at the building codes, i.e., your systems and processes, your customer experience, your policies, your contracts, your pricing structures, your freezes, all this stuff. So, how do we do that? How do we become a fire marshal in your business instead of the one putting fires out all day? Well, the bottom line is having a plan, period. So when we start with our coaching clients, the very first thing we do like to do with them is a time audit. And I already know when you give us the time audit back and you just have blocks of time that say office works, that just means you don't have a plan. What do you mean office work? What does that really mean? Well, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Well, let's put that down because we need to account for everything. And everything matters. I always say that every detail matters, but everything in your business matters. Okay, so we want to be ahead of this, have a plan, be a fire marshal. The last one is actor director. Okay. Steven Spielberg, he doesn't hold the mic, right? He just makes sure everything is right in his business. He yells action, right? And then he lets the system run. He steps back and let the system run. The toughest thing for gym owners and studio owners to do is to let go of things. Okay. I believe in the 80% rule. If you can delegate something, it's going to get done about 80% ish, about as good as you're going to do. It's probably worth delegating. Okay. And what we have to do is not position the grind as something positive. Okay. Early in my days, I was the primary problem solver for everything. All roads led to me. Okay. And if I wasn't able to get something done, then it's like the operation completely stopped. What we don't realize is we go down this road of ownership. If we never learn to let go because we think, I do it the best, so I need to do it, then you're never going to be able to shift out of that quadrant, right? This guy right here, does anybody know who this is? Mike McAllowitz, Profit First. We had Mike come out and speak to our group, the Iron Circle, and he said one major thing that really resonated with me, and it's really this. It's like the core responsibility of the CEO is job creation, not job fulfillment. Okay. Your job is not to do the work, it's to create the jobs so other people can do the work. Okay. And once you kind of shift yourself, like, wait a minute, that's actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of gym owners struggle with stepping back away from the day-to-day operations in fear that their team is going to look down on them. Well, why am I doing all the work if this is, you know what I mean? Like you feel guilty. You feel guilty to be successful. I want to flip that on its head. Your mission is to be successful. Your mission is to create the positions that your team that can be the all-stars for you. Okay. So the best use of your time is to pour into your team. Think about all the touch points that your team has with your clientele versus you. Okay. So if we want to develop our people, that would be the highest return on investment that we can have in the gym. And it really just looks like this. You're the owner, maybe you've got a fitness director or a GM. That person coaches all the coaches, and those coaches touch all of the clients, right? So, like, how could you ever get across to all the clients? So, if you can pour into your team, create the jobs, make sure that they're successful, your leverage, as you will, is going to be exponential at that point, right? And so I believe 100 wholeheartedly, the best use of your time is to pour into your team. Okay, let's get into the last kind of shift here for a second. The dashboard. So, like I said before, I run the gym from this office, and the only way that I could do that is that I need to know the numbers and the ones that are important. Because in the fitness business, or really any business in general, there's dozens of data points that we could be looking at. Okay. But most of them, to me, they're irrelevant to where the health of the gym is. And some of them can be irrelevant altogether. So, for example, well, let's get into them. So basically, I boiled everything down to two KPIs. Like literally, the only two things I look at in my gym when I'm on my weekly calls with my director are these two numbers. And teaser, it's not member count. And teaser, it's not attrition or retention. It's number one, and this only counts if you're running paid traffic, is ROAS. Okay, return on ad spend. That's the first KPI I look at. I believe that marketing, paid marketing, is literally the multiplication of capital. Okay, you put money in and you get more money back, and it's literally the only thing you should never stop doing. Okay, so what is ROAS? ROAS essentially is this. It's the amount you collected over a 30-day window divided by the amount you spent to acquire those clients. Okay. So for example, let's say you collected 2,500 bucks. You sold 10 memberships at 250 bucks each. Over the first 30 days, you've collected $2,500. Okay. You spent $1,000 on ads. Let's just say this was 2015 and that was accurate. And that means your ROAS is a 2.5. What does that mean? That means you have an ATM machine. For every dollar that you put into marketing, it means you get $2.5 back. Plus, the client's going to pay you next month and the next month and the next month. Okay. If 2.5 was your ROAS, we would be all over you to what we say, press the gas. That's a winning home run, holy grail territory campaign. Get as much dollars spent as possible because you, the gym owner, is going to be pulling money out every single month. And when we teach, we have a math of marketing training. When we teach gym owners how to really dissect the return on ad spend against their real revenue collected, all the fear goes away. And there's gym owners that can't wait to spend money on marketing because it's an instant return on investment. Okay. Many of you here are very, very timid to spend money on marketing. And that's probably the only reason for that is because you don't have true data that tells you, is the marketing working or not? Well, I got a bunch of leads, but those leads never became members. Or your agency is so happy that they got you really cheap CPLs, cost per lead. And you're on the other saying, like, I only signed up two people and I spent like freaking 5 grand and I'm negative. But the agency looks great because they got a handful, a bundle of clients for super cheap. There's a million reasons for that, guys, and I can't really go into it on this. We have a whole nother training, but that's the first KPI. The second KPI that I like, I don't know if I invented this, but nobody talks about this. This is called the delta. This is like my number one thing. This tells me everything I need to know about whether or not we're doing the business is growing or retracting. It's essentially the growth or decay of your recurring revenue. Okay. Before I get too deep into this, we have such an advantage for reoccurring revenue that other industries are trying to make things up to become subscription based models. Look at Walmart. Walmart's got like a subscription now. The Joint Chiropractic, if you have those in your area, they became a subscription service chiropractor. They're all trying to get to where we already been. It's just part of doing business as a gym or a studio. You have recurring memberships. And so the delta is this. It's basically a math equation that says you would count up all of your monthly dues totaled up as a number for new signups, top line. Then you would subtract out any cancellations for that month. Okay, so I'm just going to probably put my foot in my mouth because I can't do math on the fly. Let's say you signed up those 2,500 member or $2,500 in new members. There was 10 members at 250. That equals 2,500. 2,500 goes there. Let's just say you lost uh, four members you lost. So that's minus 1,000. Okay, so now I have 2,500 minus 1,000, that's 1,500. Then you had some upgrades and downgrades, and you had freezes, unfreezes. You got to add all that up into a number. And your number is going to be either positive or negative. It's either going to be like positive 4 or 5,000 or 1,200 or 800, or it's going to be negative, 1,500, 1,700, 1,800 bucks. And what does that number tell you? It tells you everything that you need to know in real time. This is a daily KPI. So if you sign up somebody today, it goes on the Delta tracker. If somebody cancels, even though that they come off next month, you put it on the Delta tracker. Somebody comes off a freeze, goes on the Delta tracker. And what does this tell you? It tells you as a gym owner in real time, are we gonna make more money next month than we did this month? And in the goal of the game is to build up your recurring revenue. Okay. And the thing about the Delta, it considers all of these into one number. You could have high attrition. You can have lower or higher revenue per member sign up or cancel. You could have less members. You could have revenue in and out coming in a given month, but you could have a positive delta. You could have less members making more money. That's the easiest way to explain it. So maybe you lost people that were on an old grandfather rate and you're signing up people on the new higher rate, even though you've less members, the delta is positive, meaning you're going to make more money next month. Isn't that really all that matters? I think it is because again, this is a business, right? We're trying to generate revenue. And here's the thing. Like I said before, monthly recurring revenue for us is our superpower in the fitness industry. And too many gym owners throw this benefit out the window by doing, say, paid in fulls or challenges or discounts just to get people in the door or session packs. And we just ignore this MRR number when all we should be focusing on is your monthly recurring revenue. Because when you get your monthly recurring revenue to a point where it's greater than your base operating expenses, BOE, you have extreme clarity. Extreme clarity. If you know that your recurring revenue next month is more than going to cover all of your bills, wouldn't it be nice to be in that position? And I'm sure many of you are. But if you're not in that position, you become shiny ball syndrome seekers. You start looking for the next best marketing hook, play, offer, challenge. What's the thing getting clients in the door today, irrespective if it's going to burn your business down because it's a bait and switch or it's bringing in the wrong type of clients, but you paid your bills this month. Guys, the very first thing we do with any gym is, other than the time audit, is we look at your numbers to make sure that, hey, your recurring revenues at least covering your base operating expenses. And if it's not, that's the only thing that we focus on. And we do that using the Delta KPI. And we use that, to drive traffic through paid marketing. We look at the ROAS, period, end of story, boom, there you go. You can fix most all of your problems with new sales, but by growing your monthly recurring revenue to a point where it's overcoming your base operating expenses as early in the month as possible. Again, guys, extreme clarity. The weight gets lifted. You feel like, oh, I can think. I don't have to jump through hoops to try to get the next member in the door, guys. Listen, I know we covered a ton today, and I try to, wellness gave you like 30 minutes to get all this stuff in, and that's why we have other resources for you guys. But hopefully today, through those three bullets that we spoke about earlier, and you've got the shifts, you kind of can become that CEO that more likely has their shit together than the one that's scrambling around, guys. Hopefully that helped you guys. Thank you. I'm going to end it right here because I know Deborah's got some stuff to talk about. Thank
Well,
you
you're not
guys
going
for
to
your
end it
time.
because you're still going to answer questions. So make sure that you guys post the questions because
Yeah.
Tim's sticking around for that. And he's also got a special offer. But Tim, thanks so much. This was packed with insight and truth. And for those of you who are sitting here thinking that this is exactly where I need to go, exactly what Tim explained, this is where Wellness Living can help. So I just want to take a couple minutes and just tell you that our software can help bring Tim's strategies to life inside your business.
Uh-huh.
First, that identity shift, when Tim talked about going from line worker to factory designer, that kind of hit home for a lot of people, I'm sure. Wellness Living can help you with the systems that automate your schedule, your payments, your lead follow-up, even your marketing. So you're not constantly reacting, but you're leading. And then, next you talked about delegation. If you're stuck in firefighter mode, we give you the tools to become the director. So that means empowering your team. You can give them custom staff permissions, tracking their performance, and giving them the tools to build client loyalty themselves so that you don't have to be in every room, in every moment, watching everything. And, finally, the dashboard, Tim's 10-minute CEO concept is exactly how we built our reporting. So you can track your ROAS and your delta and see who's signing up, who's canceling, your revenue in versus revenue out in real time, all in one place. And it's your business at a glance. So you can see everything that's going on. So whether you're just starting to step into that CEO role or you're already scaling and want to go further, Wellness Living is a platform built to support you at the next level. And if you want to see how it all works in action, I just want to personally invite you to book a free demo. We'll show you how you can implement exactly what Tim just shared, but customized to your business. And you can click on the link. It's posted in the chat. It's free to attend. We also even pay you actually to attend it. So it's certainly not a waste of your time. It's a $50 Amazon gift card you get just for showing up, but it'll be well worth your time, more than the gift card. So I really encourage you if you want to see how wellness living works and how you can implement these strategies, there's a great way to automate a lot of your business as well. And Tim, um, we have a couple questions coming in, so I'll start firing off those to you, or do you want to share your big
Well, let me do
surprise
this. Let
offer?
me do this first. Let me thank you guys for coming. So here's a scoop, guys. We host an event once a year. It's kind of like our Super Bowl at ProFit. Okay. This year it's September 4th through 6th in Nashville. This is the lineup. We've got a lot of great speakers, but really the point of the message is you get in the room and you start hearing things that other successful gym owners are doing. And I asked Deborah, I said, most of the time, like, because they're a sponsor this year, you get like a couple tickets to give away. She goes, can we buy some more tickets to give to people on your Coach to Grow? And I was like, sure. What do you want to do? Like, couple, two, three? What do we want to do? She goes, I want to buy 10. Can I buy 10? I said, sure. Let me send you the invoice. And I sent them over. She's bought in 10 tickets for everybody here that if you just go to fitprogrowsummit.com/wellness, fill
Well,
the
Wellness
form
Living
out.
bought them, in all honesty, not me personally.
Wellness did, not Deborah, right? Wellness Living. These are VIP seats. You get first entry, you get the cocktail mixers, you get the hosted dinners. It's a whole thing. We really do our events, right? And Wellness Living, like I said, it's a platinum sponsor this year. So fitprogrowsummit.com/wellness is going to take you to the landing page where you can fill out your form. And on that form, you're just going to fill out your details of your gym, and we're going to reach out to you to kind of to give you your ticket. And the only thing that we ask you guys is don't take somebody's seat. Again, there's 10 seats. There's only 250 in the room. So don't take somebody's seat if you're not really thinking you want to go to this. We'll still give you a call, kind of reach out to you. But head on over to that fitprogrowsummit.com/wellness. Guys, it's a 2.5 day event. It's literally a celebration. It's awesome. So it's like the favorite thing that we do. So I'll leave that up there and we can maybe just fire away on questions if you'd like.
Yeah, I just actually put it, if you guys want to copy and paste it, I put that link in the chat too. So if you're looking for free tickets, you definitely want to check that out. And we do have, I can get into questions too. So
Okay.
we've
Yeah,
got
there's only
some,
10. There's only 10. I can't give away to everybody. So throw, first come, first serve, I guess.
yeah, my advice is, pitch your, pitch your stake to it and see if you get it. But,
Yeah.
okay, a few questions here that came. What advertising modes do you find work the best?
Okay. Advertising modes that I find that work the best are ones that you can track. Now, there's something to be said about being omnipresent, about, organic and, podcasts and everything, that some of these things you can track. But if I'm going to put budget to something, it's going to be in the digital space that I can say that this dollar or this $1,000 resulted in this return on investment. That's where we get the ROAS from. So I believe in the poles in the water concept. You should be at a lot of places. Gone are the days of the one like hook ad, Facebook ad, bringing it in 30 clients this month. It comes down to being everywhere. But again, if I'm going to put budget to something, I'm not going to put it on the back of the receipt at the grocery store or on the cart that you push around the buggy because I have no clue if that works or not. But I know that if I run digital marketing, that either Instagram or Facebook or I mean depends on your market, your niche, even TikTok would be a an opportunity that I can track the return. That's it.
Okay, and Kelly wanted to know how much you should spend on marketing per month. Is there a formula for that?
That's a great question. In fact, if we were to ask everybody in this room, it's going to be completely different. I believe your marketing should be unlimited. Okay. Whoa, Tim, I only got so much money. If you were in like my example, if you were at a 2.5 ROAS, meaning for every dollar that you put in, you got $2.50 back in the first 30 days, what would your budget be, Kelly? As much as possible, right? Now, I do agree you have to start with something. So it's going to be different for everybody. I've heard a lot of people of 20% of gross revenue or 10% of gross revenue. I believe it's unlimited based on the return on ad spend. So start with something, monitor it week by week, and based on your return on investment, spend more or stop spending. But you got to at least start with something. I can't throw an arbitrary number out for your business, but like basically that's how I would start.
Okay, let me see. How much as an owner should I produce or be part of content like post paid videos, etc.?
You as the owner, like the face of the business, it really comes down to a couple things. Um, Number one, do you want to be the champion of your studio? If you were to look at mine, I'm nowhere to be found. My name's not on any emails. I don't do any of the agreements. I don't hire or fire. Uh, when I first started, everything was me. I was in the ads. I was signing up everybody. So it depends on where you're at on your CEO journey of your ownership. Like, do you want to be involved, or if you can remove yourself? Again, letting the little trainer inside of you die kind of concept here, then stop doing that and start putting your coaches or your directors or your GMs on the screen and make them the champs.
Makes sense. Any advice or guidance for a startup studio 3 months out from first revenue? And I guess Lance is looking for guidance for developing a client base, hiring instructors, future leaders within the business, developing a culture, etc.
Ooh, that's a big
It's a
ask.
loaded question.
So
Yeah.
no, it's not loaded. It's just a lot of work, right? So it's like, man, you're 3 months out from your starting of your gym. This should be the most exciting time because you're not training anybody yet. You can focus on sales. You can focus on calling every lead and doing, pop-up tents out in front of your studio. It's being built, going door to door, the businesses in the neighborhood. Like that's all you. Like everything that you do from this point on, Lance, is collecting lead information. Whether or not they sign up or not, you want to build your database so that you can remarket to them in the future. As far as hiring instructor, like you have to have you need to know who you're trying to attract. Like the only way you know who's a good fit for your organization is that you understand your organization. So I don't know if you have other studios or this is like brand new out of the box, shiny new. Like we got to create like what do you believe in? What is your ethos? What is the methodology that we as a gym believe in? And then start attracting people that want to be part of that mission. Um, there's so many different modalities out there. I don't want to touch on them, but but you believe, Lance, that there's something that you do better than everybody else. So that is what your ethos of your like. That's what you believe. Okay. It may be standing on your head for 30 minutes in a corner is the reason that you guys get results, but that's what you believe, right? Like that's your secret sauce. Maybe it's functional training, maybe it's yoga, maybe whatever. So you have to just build that out from the ground up so you know who to attract.
Okay. Coach Z wants to know what are some basic money metrics to track per month, more than just income versus expenses?
Oh, well, yeah, the delta and the ROAS right there. I kind of spoke to it in this talk. Those are the two I track the most. Now, if you're depending on where you're at in the journey, I like to know my customer lifetime value. I like to know one of the big things that I like to know early on, especially this was the epiphany that I had that made me shift my model, was if you're offering different service offerings, maybe it's large group training or one-on-one or whatever it is, like do a deep dive analysis on each one of those service offerings and figure out who spends the most money with you and who stays the longest. When I did that, it was night and day. It was, we had a large group class-based concept with our semi-private personal training. And when we did the math, we found out the large group training members stayed on average about 9.8 months with us, paying around 179 a month. And the semi-private training clients stayed with us 36.2 months, paying 350 or higher. And so for us, it was like, well, dude, like this is we just need to get rid of that whole service offering. We went all in on semi-private and everything blew up from there. So like knowing those numbers would be important.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, even if you're in a software, not just Wellness Living, but any software, and you can track attendance and things like that, you kind of know like what's showing up for you and where's the money at in which classes, and maybe
Totally. Totally.
cut
Yeah.
the fat off what's not working. Um, Tracy's asking, I'm 4 years into ownership of a yoga studio, getting ready to sign another 5-year lease. Um, and she's ready to step away more. How will attending the summit help me with this?
Oh,
Good
Tracy,
question.
Tracy. Did you're speaking to like look, I didn't say like Profit, our name of our company, underneath it, like the tagline, we help gym owners win. Just replace gym owner with yoga studio owner. I help you win. Like if your goal is to step away, you're speaking to me. Like the content at the summit, one of our speakers, if you've ever heard of profit first accounting principles, it's basically you take your revenue minus your profit, so you lock your profit in, and your expenses are your what's left versus the traditional revenue minus expenses equals profit. The point of the message is we have a speaker talking about vacation first. Take your business and set your vacations up front so that you can build your business around your lifestyle, your vacations, and then back into the numbers. That's John Farkas, good friend of mine. Um, he's speaking here. You go. He's this guy at the top left. So that John, he's got 5 studios and he's planning on opening 5 more. The guy doesn't take less than 6 weeks overseas, Iceland, Denmark, Italy. He just runs his gym like that. So vacation first methodology. And some of these other guys, like Alicia Little over here, she's the queen of AI. I handpicked her from another growth, like another, it was called the AI Bot Summit. It was in Orlando. She hasn't anything to do with gyms, but she is the queen, I guess, not the master, the queen of AI tools
Mm.
to leverage your time as the owner to get yourself out of that role. So a bunch of stuff in there, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we have some personal experience, obviously, with your summits, but if you want to speak a bit more outside of Tracy's question, I think it might be helpful if people really know the value of being in a room with a bunch of winners and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just hearing the strategies that worked from these people.
Yeah, what's cool about this group here is, again, I kind of hand select these folks, but I bring them in for specific reasons. For example, Devin Gage, back here in the back here, this guy has 10 training studios. Um, he's going to speak about culture at scale. One of the big fears of gym ownership is, hey, when we scale, I don't want to lose my culture, my vibe, the thing I created in at HQ at the first location. Well, he's going to teach you how he's been able to do that. Oh, by the way, this is the number one MC in the world. This guy is an entertainer. That you can't. Some I announced this lineup, and then 2 people reached out to me because I think the speakers are great, but I'm more excited about Devon, the MC, coming back. Like, okay, man, well, that's great. Well, I'll see you there. Donald Miller, our keynote, Donald Miller of Story Brand. If you've ever read that book, Story Brand 2.0, speaks to how to attract your ideal and perfect client. Okay. What words to say, what's the frameworks and the formulas to put on pieces of paper on your copy that says, I want to join that gym because this is for me. Kendrick is a doctor. He talks about blood work, hormone therapy, bringing that in as a service offering, stretch therapy. Evans, Lindsay's all about leadership. Okay. How to hire the best in the business to work for you. Okay. So that kind of answers that other gentleman's question from earlier. I think it was Lane
Hmm.
or Lance.
Lance?
Sorry, Lance. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lance. Body over here, Chris Carter, body language at the sales consultation, what that person's telling you by how they sit in that chair or stand or put their feet or cross their arms or turn their back to you, like mind reader. He's going to do some really cool shit. He's going to blow your mind. He'll be telling you what card you're thinking on the backside of the room, and he'll have it in his hand. It's wild, the stuff this guy does. So, anyways, good group, hand selected everybody. I'm really excited about it.
Well, to that same point, Mason actually mentioned, what do you think of this, Tim? So Lance asked, he's 3 months out from opening. He's looking for instructors. Mason said he's 10 months in and just starting to look for instructors. So when is the right time to actually
Oh,
look for the
okay.
instructors?
What is the right time? This is like a chicken and the egg scenario, right? So we're dealing with a gym owner in the same position as you. And it came down to this. One is you're going to hire a coach to do one of two things for you. One is to increase your capacity, okay? The capacity of that what you can so you're not able to sell people into your services because you're at capacity. So you're going to open up capacity. That's the first thing. The other thing is replacing yourself on the floor so that you can turn around and do other things. Okay. In my opinion, it does every gym's going to be a little bit different. So your goal might be to replace yourself for the sessions that you're doing so that you in turn can go generate more revenue. Okay. So like the end of the day, you have to do something with your newfound time that generates more revenue than you're spending on that person. Okay. So when I replaced myself, I looked at the salary of my fitness director, who is the GM of the gym, and I said, if I pay this guy $80,000 that I now take out of the business, can I go make 160,000 with my new time that I freed up? Like that made it really easy for me to say, yeah, well, I'm gonna more than double that what I was gonna be making because I've replaced myself. So I guess I don't know if that answers your question. The timing's gonna change for every single person, but you definitely want to know what the goal of hiring that person is. Is it to open up capacity so you're gonna stay in the role and sell into that new role or replace yourself? Then you need to turn that into new revenue that you're gonna create.
And I guess also, like you said, you really need to know, what you stand for as the culture of the business and everything else to know if you are hiring the right person. So getting to maybe,
Hmm.
if you don't know that first, it takes you 10 months to figure it out. Maybe you wait to do the hiring. And Tim, someone wants to know if in Nashville there is a host hotel, right? And discount groups are
Yes, we have a room
available.
block. Yep, it's at the Sheraton downtown. So like we're just a block off Broadway. So you stay focused, guys, because Broadway could be a distraction for anybody that's been to Nashville. It's like honky tonk central and bars and stuff. The Sheraton, you'll see it after you I think that's the second step is to book your hotel. So it'll be there for you on the link
Yeah,
slash
get your
wellness.
tickets first or win them if you haven't done
Yeah,
that
Grant,
yet.
fill out the form and then the way that I'll just be honest with you, the person that shows me that they've booked their room, they're going to get the ticket because now I already know that you're going. That's a pretty easy way to lock yourself in.
Kelly, you win the ticket by going to the link, the Fit Pro Growth Summit link that's up on the screen right now, .com/wellness, and fill out the form. And then if you're serious about going, I'd book the hotel so you can then
Yeah.
show Tim you've booked it because he doesn't want to give it away and then have seats be empty just from someone who thinks they might go.
Yeah, nailed it, Deborah. Really, really, I really want to reserve like these. We just started selling these tickets. I think we're already over half. Half the seats are gone already.
Well, I know from other years it's gonna sell out, so I
Evans
think
wants you too, Kelly. Okay, so you know Evans. That's awesome. He's one of our speakers. Somebody asked if there was a remote version of this.
yes.
Uh, that's a tough call. So as an event coordinator or somebody puts on an event, you never want to just say, "Hey, we're going to do remote live and live," because then nobody comes. So the answer is, I have the ability to do it, but only going to do that if we sell out because we got to have people in the room. So if we get to a point where we sell out about a month in advance, we'll start doing virtual. tickets, if that
Tickets.
makes sense.
Hmm.
That's just the truth. Like we can't just say, hey, it's one or the other, and nobody like I wouldn't like do it online. Like you don't have to go anywhere. But I think
That's
is
important. Yeah.
being in the room is the by far the most powerful. And one of the other things that we did this year that we've never done before on Friday night, there's if you're a VIP, which you do get VIP with wellness, you can select up to one of 10 restaurants to go at 7 p.m. That's going to be hosted by one of the speakers that you can sit at the table, have dinner with, just ask questions, shoot the shit with other gym owners. There's 10 people per table. And so, anyways, I think that's really cool. It's called like a networking hosted dinner.
Monica wants to know when you can announce the winners because she needs to know if she needs to buy another ticket or two. She's going,
Uh,
but she wants to bring her
oh,
husband.
Monica.
Fill out the form, show me your hotel receipt because you need a hotel for yourself or if it's you and your husband. And that way you know whether to just buy one or two tickets because Tim will let you know right away if you've won.
Yeah, 10-4. 10-4.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, if you guys go get your room, I think it's on the second step of that thing. If you say, here's my confirmation number, you kind of just got the ticket because anybody can fill the form out and not go. Like, I don't want that.
Hmm. Yeah. So I guess as
Yeah.
some clarity to that
As a
offer.
shortcut to get in.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the hotel room, show your receipt for that, and you'll win. One more question I guess we have time for, Tim, really quick from Tanya. I own a group fitness studio. I want to stay on the floor and teach as much as I can. It's my absolute favorite thing. What else do I give up? I also like being personal with my clients and reaching out when things come up with their accounts. I'm having a hard time giving something up to free my time.
Tanya, you're not alone. In fact, when I put that slide up in another event I was at, I had like an uproar. Like, what do you mean? I gotta die or whatever, right? My trained little trainer. I don't believe like in your position. And in fact, the other gal, one of the gals' names was Tanya too. Um, Look, here's the reality. Like, if who's gonna drive the ship if you're on the training floor all day? And it's okay that you want to be on the training floor. Just do that and hire somebody to drive the ship because at the end of the day, like who's growing the business? So I guess the question, if you have an ability to respond, Tanya, how's the business doing? Is it where you want it to be? Are you profitable? Are you at your growth capacity? Do you feel great about the margins? Like all of those, like if you can answer that, um, let me know because everything's awesome and you're super profitable. No, it's not. Okay, well, I was gonna say, if it was perfect for you, then stay right where you're doing. You love it. There's something to be said about rushing into the gym today or the studio, like, because you love it. So, like, there's nothing wrong with loving that. In fact, like I said, there might be something wrong if you don't love it, right? So, at the end of the day, it's this.
Wait, she
One,
doesn't. She says she doesn't have time to grow.
that's the catch 22, right?
Yeah.
You're on the training floor because you love it and you don't want to give it up, but then you're not growing because you don't have the time. Well, that's the obvious thing, right? So because you're doing it all. So Tanya, it's just a come to Jesus moment for yourself. It's like, do I ever want to get to that spot where I'm moving to business owner? And look, maybe it's no. Maybe you just want to stay where you're at and you're cool. I don't think it was. I think you were saying no, it's not where you wanted. So the harsh reality is this: you're gonna have to hire somebody to drive the ship if you're not willing to get off the training floor. You
Makes
have to hire a
sense.
CEO, which is you're gonna probably pay a lot of money to that wipes out all your margin and it ends up being another catch 22. So
Yeah.
Tanya, you might have to just release start with like 25%.
Yeah. A portion of your schedule will give it up.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's a
Tim,
catch.
yeah, it was an honor to have you here. We're really grateful. I think, guys, get your free tickets, book the hotel room, get the ticket, or pay for your ticket if they're all sold out from the free ones that Wellness Living purchased on your behalf. Um, Follow him on his podcast, buy his books. You have access to him, and he actually said he's open to answering anybody's questions. So if you find him on Instagram, follow him and DM him, and he might be so kind to give you some further advice. Yeah, he put his email in there, tim@pfmarketingsolutions.com and at Tim Lyons Jr., JR.
Yep.
So that's on Instagram.
Yeah,
Tim,
just pay me, guys. I'm around. I'm not hiding from anybody.
he said just ping him, not pay him.
Yeah, you don't need to pay me. You're with Wellness. And by the way, this is a top secret. like I've run a gym for 16 years, and we've been on one of the competitors for 16 years, and now we're moving to wellness living. So
There you go.
hip hip hooray, we're
Woo.
moving over.
All right, guys, September
Excited
4th
about
to 6th. Don't miss it. I know Canadians are complaining about the exchange rate. That's why I suggested win a ticket, and that's some of your costs covered right there. But
it.
Tim,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in Nashville.
See you guys. Thank you.
Take care.